Morning. The sky is starting to get light a little earlier now. At this time a few weeks ago, it still would have been pitch dark. It is so cold this morning. My fingertips are numb. It's in the 30s. Oh, breaking down camp is the hardest part because it's the coldest in the morning. Sleeping, I'm fine. I'm nice and toasty warm, but once I get out of my tent, it's really hard, really cold. All right, time to get moving. All right, my camp last night was a dry camp, and I pulled into camp with about 3/4 of a liter of water, which was enough to make dinner and brush my teeth and all that sort of stuff. But I'm down to only maybe a little less than 1/3 of a liter. So there's a little seasonal spring here, which is actually running, and I'm gonna fill up. The campsite where I stayed last night, at the top of Little Rock Knob, that was at about 5,000 feet of elevation. I'm climbing now Roan High Knob, and the top of that is over 6,000 feet. So this is one of the high ones. It's not as tall as Clingman's Dome, which is the highest point, or as tall as Mount Washington, but it's up there. And it's almost 5 miles to the top. So I'll be climbing this puppy for a while. Thank goodness it's cool at the moment and not 95 degrees. All right, I'm still almost 2 miles from the top, but this is a great spot to sit, take the pack off a minute, and have a snack. It's called Beartown Mountain Overlook. I love these coniferous forests. They're so pretty. This one's got rock outcroppings in it too. Everything's covered with needles and moss. This section of trail is so pretty, and it smells so good with all the conifers. Reminds me of hiking in northern Vermont. I love this stretch of trail. One of my favorites so far. So this is the site of the old Cloudland Hotel, which was built up here in the late 1800s. And people would come up here in the summer to beat the heat because it's cool up here. There's some of the foundation over there. And I found a nice sunny spot to sit and have lunch because it's still chilly. I mean, my hands are, I can feel them, but like they're cold. So I'm gonna have some hummus for lunch on a pita. Can you believe I was complaining about how cold it was this morning and that my fingers were numb? But I was glad to have it be cool making that climb today. All right. So this would be the turnoff to the Roan High Knob shelter. You're not allowed to camp there. It's closed. They don't even want you setting up tents there. I guess if and when they make the repairs to make it structurally sound again, they'll reopen it. But until then, it remains closed. I understand it's a fully enclosed shelter, which would make sense because it's so cold up here. Now that helps everybody to notice that the trail turns. This is Carver's Gap. So this side of me is North Carolina. And this side of me is Tennessee. This is the Stan Murray shelter. But I'm gonna continue on, knock out a couple more miles. It's 4:30, so probably get to my intended campsite around 5:30, maybe 6 if the terrain is hard. I just picked up some water at the spring, and I am heading in to the site of the old Over Mountain shelter, the one that looked like a barn, and it got torn down because it was condemned and unsafe. So, nice. Okay. This is my home for the night. The picture's a little wonky today. I don't know why. See if I can fix that. But it's a room with a view. All right, that's the privy. But what concerns me are those two eyes looking back at me from up there. Some kind of animal. There you go. See them? See the eyes? And that's the privy. Interesting. The most primitive privy I've seen so far, at least on the AT. Alright, I'm climbing another bald. There's a little rainbow there. Sunrise. I really hate these narrow little dirt tracks. That's where I just came from. I'm climbing up this bald behind me. Just when I think I'm at the top. There's more. Alright, so I haven't been able to film that much early on this morning because it was so cold. It was mid-20s overnight and when I left camp, so I couldn't feel my fingers. It's a little better now. The sun is up. It's probably in the 30s. So I'm just stopping to have a quick bite of breakfast and then I'll keep going. I have about 10 miles to go today to get to the hostel where I'm staying, the refuge hostel. I had an incident last night making dinner with my fuel canister. It just sort of blew up, not blew up like boom, but like it just started leaking fuel everywhere until it was empty. And I think it also damaged the O-ring in my stove. So I think I'm going to need a new stove too. I mean, luckily I'm going into a hostel today, so I should be able to find a way to get those things. I mean, the fuel canister's easy. The stove might be a little harder. But never a dull moment. Look, another bald for me to go over. That's 5 balds in 2 days that I've actually gone up and over, plus a bunch of others that I've seen but kind of skirted around and didn't go over. I wonder what this area looks like from an airplane with all these balds. Still heading up. When you're climbing a bald, you generally have great views all the way up. And if you're climbing it in the spring, in the morning, then it's nice and cool. I can't imagine what this would be like on a summer afternoon with no shade. The disadvantage to climbing a bald is you could see how high you have to climb all the way up. Unlike when you're climbing in the trees, you just see a piece of it at a time. Another bald. So I am starting a 5.5 mile downhill stretch. And when I get to the bottom, I'll be at 19E. That's the road crossing. I'm actually going a little further than that today, but that'll mark the bottom of the downhill. Look at this. This is the end of North Carolina. I could put that state behind me. So now I've finished Georgia and North Carolina. I still have some more in Tennessee. So the trail from here on out doesn't go back and forth between the two. It's going to be only in Tennessee until I hit Virginia. All right, I know that I'm coming down out of the mountains. It was really cold up there. I've been up there for the past 4 days. But look, the trees are making leaves. Spring is here. slide. I crossed Route 19E. You can hear it in the background. It's a busy paved road, fast-moving cars. I'm on the other side of the road now, starting up this next hill, because I'm heading to the refuge, which is up here. So I got another, I don't know, mile and a half, something like that. So up the hill I go. I can't believe it was in the 20s this morning. This hill just keeps going up. And it's mostly in the sun. So I figured 10 miles wouldn't be so bad. Get into the hostel early. Yeah, no. This has not been an easy 10 miles. It started out with a lot of climbing this morning. The first climb, just to thaw out my fingers. Then I had to climb a couple of those big balds. And then the downhill was mostly not easy. There's a lot of rocky sections, even a little bit scrambling in places. So that did not go fast. Didn't get easier until the bottom. And now I'm going up again. Climbing in the hill, in the heat and the sun. Oh. What a change from this morning. On the good side, this is one less hill I'll have to do tomorrow morning.